Live long and prosper. My name is Jim. Welcome to my booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. This will be my first video for Book Trek 2021. Book Trek 2021 is an exploration of the literature surrounding Star Trek. It was started by Vin at Revenant Reads, and he's joined by some great booktubers, Gina, Stanyer, Mark Richardson, Michael K Vaughan, and the intrepid Steve Donoghue. I'll link to the other book trekkers in the show notes below. Book Trek 2021 is a 5-month mission to read books relating to Star Trek of the different iterations of Star Trek. And we're starting in August with the original series. This is the series I'm most familiar with. When I was a kid in the 70s in England, we just had 3 channels, BBC One, BBC Two and ITV, and there were only 3 or 4 programmes that were must-sees every week, and this included Star Trek. The others would be Doctor Who, Rent-A-Ghost, and maybe some of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Scooby-Doo or Yogi Bear. I recently started watching the first season of the first series. It's strange seeing it in colour because I was used to watching it in black and white. The sound effects, the noise of the transporter, the noise of the automatic doors brings back nostalgic memories. I like to entertain this nostalgic buzz at times. I'm not a big Trekkie. I didn't watch much apart from the original series. And I realised I didn't even see much of the first season of the original series. Most of my watching included Chekhov, who appeared at the beginning of the second season. The book I chose to read for this was A Contest of Principles by Greg Cox. How I decided upon this was I looked on Amazon at the Kindle titles, and the cheapest ones were 99 cents. There was a choice of 3, so I chose the one with the highest rating on Goodreads. Greg Cox has written many books in the Star Trek series. He's written a lot of TV tie-ins for other films and books as well, like Planet of the Apes. In the Contest of Principles, we start with the Enterprise on a mission to the planet Vok. There they're going to oversee an election, and they're to make sure that the election is fair. It's interesting that the book was published in November 2020 when there was an election which was rather contested by one side, and there was some dubious goings on. Contested elections, it's a timeless theme. There have been many in the past. It was just in November it was particularly acute. In this episode, the 3 main Star Trek characters, Kirk, Spock and McCoy, are separated. Kirk goes down to Vok to oversee the election, to make sure everything is fair. McCoy receives a medical distress signal from the planet Brackle, and he goes along to see if he can help, but then he's abducted and he's taken to another planet, Ozolor. These 3 planets, Vok, Brackle and Ozolor, close together, and they have a tense history between the 3 of them. McCoy is abducted because the King of Ozolor, his daughter, the Princess Avamore, is ill, and he wants McCoy to look at her. It wasn't actually the King's idea, it was the Major Domo's idea to abduct McCoy. And this contest of principles, for McCoy, it's between his Hippocratic Oath, where he's concerned about helping the patient, and the Starfleet principles and his duty to Starfleet, where he should inform them or try to escape from his situation. But being the good doctor he is, he chooses to follow his Hippocratic Oath and stay with his patient. Spock beams down to Braco with a landing party to look for McCoy. Spock's own contest of principles is with a muckraking journalist, and it's very much about the ethics of journalism and what they should be reporting. Spock's adamant they should be reporting the truth, whether the truth is favourable or not. But Spock then gets himself confined by the United Bracken Front, and he mentions to Nurse Chapel when he's in captivity that he needs a close shave like I do. I'm a bit bristly. Nurse Chapel says that Spock might look good in a beard, but Spock's adamant that it's not for him, that he tried it when he was younger and it didn't meet with universal approval. Spock also finds on this planet of Braco unusual species, trivet, which has this sort of triangular symmetry. It's got 3 mouths and 3 noses and just 1 eye. And like Spock, it's got green blood because it's a copper-based life form. So basically in this book we have 3 stories. We have the story of McCoy and his abduction and his looking after the princess. We have Spock and his confinement on Braco, and then we have James T. Kirk overseeing the elections and the shenanigans going on there. So it's, in a sense, there's 3 stories in one. And for once, it's McCoy's story that was the most interesting and the biggest part of this book. I think Greg Cox gets the voices of the characters very well. Certainly he gets McCoy's irascibility, and he gets Spock being logical all the time. I think, though, if the Enterprise lost both McCoy and Spock, that Kirk wouldn't stay on planet Vok overseeing elections. He'd try and find his missing crew members or do something about this. Scotty is left on board the Enterprise to take charge while Kirk and Spock are indisposed, and we have the other familiar characters like Uhura, Sulu, Chekhov on the bridge of the Enterprise. This also gives Nurse Chapel a greater role than usual. Usually she's just passing various medical instruments to McCoy, but here she's helping Spock try to find McCoy and what's happened to him. I enjoyed this book. I'd give it 4 out of 5. It's a recent publication. As I said, it was published in November 2020. Here is my model of the Enterprise. It's a Hot Wheels model, but without any wheels. It's a very tiny Enterprise. I don't have any Klingon spaceships for it to go to battle against. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.